Alright, let's get started, shall we? Oops, I'm not even there. Now I appear. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to the lab. We're starting another new game today. And it is, as you can tell, hopefully, Hollow Justice Ace Attorney. Now, I'm going to be playing the 3DS version, mostly because it has improved visuals, and I've heard there's some quality of life adjustments, which, you know, are always appreciated. I'm not sure what those are exactly. I've tried to keep myself in the dark when it comes to, like, spoilers and stuff, so didn't look too far into it. You don't hear my fan. It's gotten pretty warm lately, so turn it on. I don't think you can hear it, which is good. Well, I hope you've been doing well so far. It's always fun starting a new game. I don't think I've streamed 2 games concurrently in a while. It's nice getting back into old form, I suppose. Now I will admit that I am running this game on an emulator. However, for legal reasons, I must say that this copy of the game I own is not pirated at all. Legitimately obtained. Alright, let's hope this works. I've done a bit of testing, so not sure if everything will be fine or not. Let's see. Also took a bit of time to set up a new scene for this game because, well, having 2 screens is a bit unique. There we go. How does this look? I considered having the bottom screen be the bottom right of the scene, but I don't know. I think this looks fine. If I somehow decide that the other way is better, then I'll move it. The 3DS always, the DS line has always had, like, things that kind of, like, make it so that whatever's on the screen, it kind of, like goes into the bottom screen, or, you know, it's like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like when there's, like, one continuous image that goes across both screens. Holy shit, that's loud. Why is that song so much louder than the other ones? Okay, well, with that, I don't see why we shouldn't delay any further. My controls working? What? Thought I set up my controls. Okay, give me 1 second. While I do this again. An Xbox controller to do this. Maybe I should be using my Switch Pro controller, but I don't know. This one feels a bit more comfortable to me. Yeah, that's X, that's Y. Directional pad left, right, up, down. Circle pad left. No, that's not the right thing. Set it. It's an analog stick. There we go. Shoulder buttons. Start. select to be that. Start to be this. DL should be this. CR should be that. I'm really sorry, guys, for this. This is why I'm always. This is why I'm always like hesitant to post VODs. Maybe I'll just like make some cuts. What is circle mod? Don't know what that is. Default. Alright, I think I got everything keybound. Auto map, push and touch, restore default. Okay. Okay, good, this works. And we will be playing this game in English. Because I do appreciate some good English dubbing. Alright, episode 1 will be about Trump. I don't know what the fuck to expect. Especially since we have a new protagonist. I'm gonna miss my boy Phoenix, man. Showdown time. Ooh, okay, we're playing cards. You lose. Ow! Eek! Okay, we're getting some funk in here. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Well, there's a murder. There's always a murder. April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Is that a portrait of the judge? Oh no, is the judge dead? Panicked. Oh, palm sweaty. Knees weak. Mom spaghetti. I can admit it. I'm nervous. Ah, good morning. Who's this? Oh, hello. What is up with, like, Phoenix Wright games and having attractive mentor figures? Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screechy noise. That was your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Christoph. Alright. Your first trial? And it's a homicide. Guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. Ah, that explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your speech. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gone, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. Can't let this case fall through. Yes, yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. The night before? Not even the night before, it's the day of. Jeez. Alright, who's our client? My name is Apollo Justice. I don't know how I'll do voices this time around. I'll probably just do what I did last time, where the protagonist, I do kind of my natural voice. Maybe I'll go a bit higher, since Apollo is just kind of young. Seems kind of young. Pretty sure I heard his objection when the game started, so. Christoph. I don't know how I'll do Christoph. Just a sexy man voice. I don't know. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out. Of course. And so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. What the fuck? Whoa! Who is this dude? Wait. Good, morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him. Cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So you're... fine. I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Can you tell me his name? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend, so why? You'll see. Huh? You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, It's time, shall we? Yes, sir. Wait, why are you saying yes, sir, to your client? Very mysterious client. Won't even tell us his name. Fucking Apollo, just ask for his name. Okay, I need to focus. First trial, here comes justice. April 20th, 10 a.m. District Court Defendant, District Court, Courtroom number 2. Court is now in session. What happens if I go full screen here? Ooh, doesn't work quite as well. I'll keep it windowed for now. I'll, fix that later.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Look at this guy. Apollo looks pretty cool. I'm sure it'll grow on me. Your name was Mr. Justice? I feel like they could have named him better, though. Oh, Justice? Kinda on the nose there. Even more so than Phoenix Wright. And it's good to see our old friend, the judge. This is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin? So his full name is Christoph Gavin. Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, the defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes. My client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice, but to entrust this case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience. Fine. But does he have cords of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Alright. Name and occupation, please. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Yeah, I had a feeling. I remember seeing like a picture of Hobo Wright before. Why is he a hobo? What happened to you, Wright? Why'd you fall off? You were my hero. Oh god, this is gonna be a problem. I use my normal voice for Wright, and apparently I'm gonna use my normal voice for Apollo, so guess I'll just have to do something else for Apollo. Yeah, I feel Apollo deserves something new, you know, something unique. Now let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Oh, okay. When'd you pick up piano? Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further then. Prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges. Mr. Payne? What the fuck is up with Mr. Payne here? What? He's really embraced his baldness. Well, not really. Truly embracing it would be completely shaving it off, right? But he's clinging on to what he can. I don't know. He's balding with pride, so to speak. Gotta say, though, it is not doing you any favors.
To think, I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains.
Oh, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see. He looks so nonchalant. He's completely trusting us. Ooh. Listen to this, okay.
Ahem. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham! Over the head, smacked, killed him cold.
Customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was...
The pianist for the club, it seems.
Phoenix Wright, the pianist.
This is the weapon that took the victim's life. Bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently the defendant's drink of choice.
Oh, not wine, apparently. I wonder if that's like a localization thing. They turned it into grape juice. There's no way, right? People get murdered in this game. Why would they like turn a bottle of alcohol into a grape juice? Phoenix is just quirky like that. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Deadly bottle added to the court record. That was a very quiet sound for picking up new stuff. Something to note, Justice. What is this at the bottom here? Is this like a text log? Oh, it's a save. Press start at any time during the game to save your data. Why not? No, I want to return to the title screen. Okay, so I only have one save file. Something to note, Justice. I'm gonna check out my court record. Attorney's badge. Okay. Smith's autopsy report. Time of death was around 2 a.m. April 17th. Death caused by single blow to the forehead. Wherever heard that autopsy before. Sorry, I kind of like burped in the middle of saying that. Ugh. Attorney's badge. Type. Other. One of my possessions. How long did I yearn for one of these? Just putting it on makes me feel ready. Crime photo 1. Okay, check this. Check. Victim's name, Shoddy Smith. Age, huh? Male. Estimated time of death, April 17th, between 1:45 a.m. and 2:15 a.m. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhaging resulting from blunt trauma to the head. Can you see that? Alright. A lot of stuff on the bottom screen, so I think you can see that fine. I was debating how big I should make the bottom screen in relation to the top screen. Let's see, photograph. Okay. Deadly bottle. Grape juice used as the murder weapon. Bears the defendant Mr. Wright's prints. Funny how we're defending Phoenix Wright again for for another attorney's first ever case, right? First it was Mia, and now it's Apollo. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. Court record, right, I've heard of that. Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, the court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So, the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow? Oh, because he's like shady. I see. Haha, very funny game.
We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor.
A traveler?
According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently. Now his place of residence is unclear.
And he had some sort of connection with the defendant?
That too is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime.
They'd only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing.
That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean.
Okay, so he was not playing the piano?
As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself.
Indeed, it appears our defendant.
I guess gambling's not legal where we live. In Japan, America.
Has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
That's his objection. Kind of weak. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game, in the purest sense. Competition, Your Honor.
Competition?
So not for money? Yes, a test of wits. A silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again?
The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor.
Is the volume okay? Maybe I need to turn it up a bit. Audio. Let's turn it up a smidge. Hopefully that's better. Maybe that's too loud? I don't know.
I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women.
I mean, can you blame him? I bet Kristoff gets mad bitches. That will be our first order of business here then. Find out more about this fatal game of cards. His hat says Papa. Okay. I don't know what to make of that. Phoenix, what happened to you? Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. Oh, this is it, my first trial. Here goes nothing. The competition. Let's hear this new testimony theme. Okay. I can get behind this. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game. And all our customers are happy. A pianist who can't play piano.
Better than a defense attorney who can't defend.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. The first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. Oh, my brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though, you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? To do, should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination? No, thank you. I can handle myself. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you'd better do more than think. You know it or you do not. I'm fine. The courts of steel are ready for battle. My weapons, press and present. Find any inconsistencies and lies in the testimony and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it. Know it. Do it. Inconsistencies? Lies? Phoenix Wright? As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Alright. I like the thing they do at the bottom screen. You don't get that in the PC ports. Okay, so I can press with Y and present with whatever the present button is. Is it X? No. Oh, there's like a microphone input. Hold it. No. You can actually yell in the microphone in this game? Okay, I don't think I actually have my microphones like set up, but I'll just press the press button instead. You can hardly play? No, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? This sprite is very funny. So expressive. I feel like Phoenix picked up a lot of mannerisms from Godo, you know? Being all mysterious and edgy, brooding. The title pianist is a mask. A respectable face I wear for the world at large. Why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? Interested customers over at the poker table. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I'm a professional, after all.
Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hardworking member of society like me to imagine.
Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston.
But what?
I've played poker for 7 years in that little room. God, how long has it been? And I've never lost once. What? See why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw.
Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time?
As I said, I'm a professional.
He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible?
I mean, maybe he's doing some cheating, I don't know, but
Cheating?
from the Phoenix, right? The room where we play in the competition and there are the club's main attractions. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day.
But black market?
On the past. Seems like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. Smoky room, gambling hoods? No. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout. But little else. Oh, like the, I thought they were talking about that, like, cabinet, but it had, like, glass over it. It's like, that's not really a window, is it? But no, it's like the white little square. The top of the picture. The room had a few other tricks to it. Though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Hi there, Loki Chevy. Welcome. That emote is adorable. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steep... Okay, I already read that. Loki Chevy, thank you for the follow. Wow. I really appreciate it. I was able to capture you that easily, huh? Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. Good clean fun with the mob? Rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. Why 2 decks? Is that something people do? 2 decks of cards? Simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. Crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Yeah, I think Christoph would have like a soft-spoken voice. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. This competition you're talking about? I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game, after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment the crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right. There's something I'd like to make clear. There's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? You look so... You seem so... okay with everything. I've said this already, but it's kind of... you know, it's kind of reassuring in a way. Very well, this defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press. I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder. I will say I never touched the murder weapon. What? Phoenix? How could you say such a thing? Such a simple slip up from you? Silence? The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. But why? It clearly puts you at a disadvantage. It's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes? Great. Like it didn't have enough to do already. Justice. Didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Indeed I did. Phoenix making an amateur mistake. Ugh, I really can't talk tonight. I'm sorry. I need some water. That's what I need. Stay hydrated, folks. Even at this time of night. Yeah. Much better. Huh? Wait. Something he said did ring a little strangely. Just one thing. Now what was it? When you figure it out, I suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts the testimony. Contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony, but why? Better check the court record. Can't imagine Mr. Wright lying on a testimony. Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? And this is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press. Right, I got it. I'm fine. He says I'm fine so much. I need to listen to that testimony again. Alright, well, we all know what's wrong here. The bottle, the murder weapon, has Wright's fingerprints on it. I like how they have little, like, dots to signal like where you are in the testimony. I wonder why they didn't have that in the trilogy remaster. Well, present the deadly bottle. Grape juice used as the murder weapon. Here's the defendant, Mr. Wright's prints. Here we go. Present. So, you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle? Right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Yeah, I don't know what... I don't know what Phoenix is planning here, trying to make us... He's, like, very clearly trying to nudge us to present that thing, right? But in doing so, he would look a lot more sus. What the fuck? Did my eyes deceive me? Did I see Winston Payne do a hair flip?
Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb.
What's this, Mr. Payne?
I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints.
Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears. And our case. What about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove.
Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints.
Huh?
But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What does that mean?
It means he was holding the bottle inverted. And there can only be one reason for that.
There it is. This music slaps. Phoenix Wright music never disappoints.
Yes, to brain someone with the bottle.
Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. We'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? Yep, soundtracks are bangers all around. Ain't that the truth? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Look at that smug smile. He knows something we don't. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Objection!
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported?
Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that...
We got a self-report here. Really?
Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone.
Near the scene?
Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we?
Okay.
The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level.
This song reminds me of something. I don't know what, though.
Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground.
Gotta say, Phoenix, the stubble looks good on you.
The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see. And this is the phone that made the call? Right cell phone. That's not the judge. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Wow. What is wrong with me tonight? The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative? Nice save, Mr. Gavin. Better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being.
Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about...
What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred? How could you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. Oh, witness. Alright, now we're getting into the meat here.
You're as good as they say you are.
So someone was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well, the prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. You know, Kristoff is cool and all. He's good looking, I'll admit, but no one could top Mia Fey. You're gonna have to do a lot to top her. Who's this girl?
The witness will state her name and profession.
Well, hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? She's right there.
I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns.
So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people. Yeah, he has that new adaptive hair gel that softens. You know, it goes limp depending on your mood. Shit's expensive. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off.
You are sure?
I cannot do a Russian accent for the life of me, which I assume is what she's supposed to have. I swear it on my gavel. Please come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor?
Well, if you are sure it is okay.
She's pretty cute, you know, bundled up. Wait a minute. The prosecution care to explain the witness's paraphernalia?
Yes. She's a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade.
And that would be...
My name is Olga Orly. I'm employed as a waitress at Borscht Bowl Club restaurant.
Then why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht at his naming restaurant.
Oh, wow, she really has that Russian accent, you can tell. Yeah, she is cute. Gotta love cozy designs. I forget what month this takes place in. She's gotta be like... she's gotta be really warm in that.
But I also perform... how's it said? Other service.
Oh. I take it one... Oh, okay. It's just photography. Calm down, guys. It's okay. I take it one of these other services is taking the customers' pictures?
Like, for example, this one.
Oh. They're just having a chat. But this one is, it's not at a poker table. Why is it snowing inside the restaurant? What's going on here? Or is that just like prop snow? Imagine like a restaurant where they just like scatter cotton balls all over the place. Oh my god. I want to check the court record. See how old she is. We'll go orally. Age 21. Gender female. The witness in this case, a Russian waitress at the Borscht Bowl Club. Gustav Gavin, age 32. First-rate defense attorney and my trusted mentor. Phoenix Wright, age 33. So Phoenix was, I think, 25 at the end of Trials and Tribulations. Wow, it's been 8 years, huh? Damn. Time really does change you. Pianist at the Borscht Bowl Club, formerly an ace defense attorney of some renown. Some renown? Shady Smith. I think it's supposed to be pronounced Shady, because that's the pun, right? A victim in this case, a traveler, only recently back in country. Winston Payne, 61. Prosecuting attorney. For all his experience, he lacks a certain presence. We'll go Orly. Alright. Well, given the previous pattern of first cases, there's a high probability that Olga is our culprit here. But I don't know. She doesn't seem the culprit type. Probably just me, right? She seems too... She's too cozy. That's the defendant?
Indeed. On the night of the murder. Man in white hat. Is the one who has gone kaput.
Indeed, that is the victim. Order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It's the same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers. Casually.
Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. I apologize to all Russians out there. And all, Eastern Europeans. For my very terrible accent.
Now, witness. Where were you at the time of the murder?
The hideout. Why is it spelled that way?
I was in room. The hideout, we call it.
Excuse me? The hideout?
It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested.
Bad guy.
It is room where murder took place.
What?
You look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post my courtroom door later for you. After, photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want copy of.
So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orly, a witness. If Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events. Man, one thing about playing like this is that the text is a lot smaller, so it's slightly harder to read. At least when you're playing on PC.
That night, customer asked me to deal cards per game. It was cold. Both players played with their hats on. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done. But something terrible has happened. That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death.
Strangling? That is not how the victim died. Incidentally, who won the game?
Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith.
That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice, maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years.
Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor, either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips as they lay at the very moment of the crime.
I'm guessing Olga took that picture too.
The hand and chips on this side belongs to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith.
Chips, you say?
Yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils.
I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of the courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture. Does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Chip photo. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. I have no idea about, like, winning hands in poker. I do not know how to play poker. I don't want to learn, though. Seems like a fun game. That fateful night. Alright, well, I feel like we don't need to press that much, right? Okay, I see what I can do. The shoulder buttons are for pressing and presenting. Let's hold time with his hand, lock it at his neck. Okay, I still want to press things though. I feel like there are some statements that are pressable. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often?
Ah, I am doing this. The customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. It is my work.
It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service.
Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitresses.
Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination. Both players played with hats on. It's already April. How could it be cold? Oh, it's April. Damn, she must be roasting in there. Holy shit. Under all those layers?
At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride on authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city in spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia.
No way I'm going there.
When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, huh?
See, this is a bit suspicious. His locket.
I believe it was good luck charm, huh? He gripped it many times as he played that night.
Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though, if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. The defense would like clarification. What? This is a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket. Of course, I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. As a matter... It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding?
So, what happened next?
Something terrible has happened. Something terrible! The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing.
Now, Mr. Orley, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened. I tremble with fear.
She's too pure. There's no way she's the killer, right? Right? Well, I think let's just present. Yeah, I think we should just present the autopsy. Time of death was around 2 a.m. April 12th. Death caused by a single blow to the forehead. Alright. How do I present this? Do I just go up? Or... Is there a button I can just do? Oh, there we go. Y. Or X. Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd.
Normal customers only choke on borscht.
No, I mean this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Impressive. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. Just realized he's got that, like, Kiryu color scheme on. Well, I mean, you can't really see it in this black and white photo. But, pretty sure he was wearing, like, a red shirt, no white suit. He's got that cosmic Kiryu.
Yet it was a fact that he was hit. It is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. And photo 2 added to the court record.
But I've seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at the victim. His neck.
Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. Look, what do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. Seems we should continue the cross-examination. There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. Alright, so we're back here again. Customer asked me to deal cards per game. Hand around locket at his neck. Take a look at the court record here. See, there's no locket here. Now that is interesting. Should check the other photo. No locket here either. Yeah, you can see the colors better now. Yeah, you can see the locket here. Wait, isn't Phoenix wearing the locket? Okay, well, I'm going to present this photo. Objection! No, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said.
I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar.
No, but look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head? Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Oh! Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Oh, there he is. Yeah, there's the locket right there. Say. Yes? I just noticed this, but, you have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh? You mean this? Ah, yes, it's a locket. The photograph inside. Photo? Of my daughter. Your daughter? Damn, Phoenix, okay. Didn't know you're getting busy. Who's the lucky lady, though? That's the question. Come again. Though, considering your current state, I don't know if that lady's still around. Mr. Wright, you have a daughter?
We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter.
Damn, our favorite lawyers are DILF now? Hell yeah. So Mr. Wright has a locket too? I don't know if I buy that. This is just a coincidence. Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game.
Further testimony will really be necessary. It's clear that the defendant lost badly.
What was that look? Why did she do that? Ms. Orley, you will testify to the court about the gameplay between the victim and the defendant.
Duh.
Serious competition.
The game began with 3,500 pointing chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant played with all chips on the table and loose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and...
Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game.
As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow.
Ah, how many times have I heard those words? I'd done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and now I regret what I'd done. A common tale, but true. He thinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. I mean, at what point do you concede that maybe he did lose for real? Alright. 500 in poker chips for each man. Are those people... are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used?
No, not special. Usual game, usual rules.
Each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be... exactly 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. Small and large. The chips in this photo are all the chips that were used?
Of course.
What was that? Why is she hiding? Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? We all know about pressing harder. We always do it. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips.
Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. They're not a chip off the old block, not a motorcycle.
Thanks. Now that I've pressed her, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even?
Yet, as I've said before, it was game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand.
And they went there? Hey, I'm all for it. I guess the Phoenix Wright series is a critique of capitalism. It's always been that. All this time, I just didn't see it.
2 types of chip. 100 points chip and 1,000 points chip. It's just not money, it's not.
Justice. Sir, did you find her comment interesting? 101,000, yeah? Let's see what the... Let's see how these add up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Way more than 7,000 on the table. What is going on here? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defendant want the witness to add to her testimony? Yeah, why not? Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Added to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Well, witness, if you would be so kind. Your Honor. I wonder how long this case will be. Mr. Gavin said this testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why. Mr. Justice, do the court in favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hand. You're not in kindergarten. Sorry, I'm fine. Better think of something to ask. Quick. The two types of chips.
Duh?
The small ones are 100 and the big ones are 1,000. Right? Right, of course.
Don't waste our time.
Is that all? Yeah. Wait, Sir Gavin made me stop her, and now I'm the one who looks dumb. Oh, Justice? Please try not to embarrass me like that. Who, me? Dude, this guy can read our mind. It's kind of freaky. Yeah, there is a clear contradiction. What? It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten after all. Calculation? Alright, well, let's just go and point out that contradiction. I think we present to this one. Let's see, this picture, right? Chip photo? You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure?
Seems our new attorney is a bit confused. Glance at the pictures enough to tell you who won. You're not in kindergarten.
Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points?
Why, the big ones, of course. Duh.
Oh, I thought so too. Then the totals don't add up.
Totals.
Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips. And the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct. Let's see, 3 plus 1 carried the 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up.
How much is it?
Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. Chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony.
But why? How could this be?
Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Chip count was wrong, starting points were wrong. Chip count? What does this mean? I don't think the starting points are wrong. I think that maybe more chips were added in the middle or the end. Yeah, I don't think the starting points are wrong, were they? The odd thing here is the number of chips. Right, Mr. Gavin? Why are you asking me? Just in case. Justice, it's your case I'm concerned about. If you're wondering about the chips, just look at the photograph. It's all there. Even our judge with his failing eyesight could count them. And that's not the only thing failing the judge. Let me ask you again. Oh, okay. Oops. Both were right. How could both be right? Starting points. How could both the chip count and the starting points be right? No. This calculation makes the answer clear. The total combined points at the table was 10,600. And each man started the night with 5,300 points. 5,300? It's a rather half-baked score at which to start a game. Justice, would different starting points really change anything? Seems the defense's objection was even more half-baked than the score. Uh-oh. I'm gonna head back into the kitchen. Wait. I'm dumb. I don't get this. Why are they both right? Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can be only one answer. But what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. Oh. Oh. I didn't even count it like that.
What?
Want to know what I think? The small chips were for 1,000 points, not the big ones.
Madness! Utter madness!
Show me that photograph of the chips again. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that does add up if you reverse them. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Excellent work, Justice. Almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it.
Wait!
Hold on, 1 second. Oops. Here we go. Alright, I'm back.
But wait! Value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing.
Indeed. The victim did have the larger number of chips still. Oh! Exactly. The small chips are 1,000 points, and the large chips are 100. Let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table.
Ah! Ow!
Wait, I didn't do the math here. Let me count myself. I gotta know. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4,100. 2,000 plus 900. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,100 points, and the defendant had 4,100 points. Well, now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning the night after all.
It's impossible!
My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning.
Yeah!
Now, Miss Worley, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you? Catch that borscht. Order! Order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive. Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. We must now ask ourselves... Huh? Who? Olga? Excuse me, what is it, Miss Orley?
I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, See what, Miss Orley? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat. A cheat? You don't mean a trick?
Wait, what do you mean, a scam?
They're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are.
Great, just great. First we have lying, and now cheating.
Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. Oh, the interesting.
Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand.
All right. Final hand. The last hand, both men had full house. There was 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith.
Miss Orley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning?
Thought I smelled a cover up here.
Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. Full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience.
That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics.
Mr. Gavin? What's a full house? Yeah, explain to me, please.
Lawyers these days, don't you know your poker?
I can't see this bodes well for your case, or career.
What is this, some kind of secret court poker thing? Court poker ring? Justice, you know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes?
Yeah, no problem.
2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair, and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. Wow, they both have full houses. We forget, there's an easy way to make a full house. And go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat.
The defense may cross-examine the witness.
If you did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? That is strange. Both men had full house. Just how hard is it to make a full house anyway? It is quite hard. It is making a pair and a 3 of kind at the same time. I guess that's right.
Very difficult to be sure. You can take my word as the poker head of courtroom number 3.
Very difficult, but it's not impossible.
Okay, full house, hard.
This line of questioning a waste of time.
I know that.
For both men's hands, cheat is more obvious.
Why?
How was it clear? Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace.
A 5th ace?
I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. Mr. Wright's 2. Obviously, cheating was afoot. Perhaps I should say, a hand.
Ha ha ha. You got the whole squad laughing, Payne. You could say I'm in pain from that joke. But shh. Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's joke. Very well, the witness will add this detail to her testimony. Please. 5 aces in all. 5th ace.
Did not exist, no? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2.
Well, where did this card come from then? Well, Wright said there were 2 decks, right?
Perhaps we should ask the defendant that very question. Adding cards to a deck is no less serious a taboo than forging evidence in a court of law.
Now, perhaps it's time for you to say something, Justice. You bet I have no intention of staying quiet. Not me, no sir. Find some contradicting evidence fast. What do we have here? Do you have any more evidence? No, this is the only page we have. Check this photo. Do you recall what the men were talking about?
I believe so. The victim, he shouts, "You're a cheater." And then the defendant shouts something like, "I have objection." Shouting objection, eh? Old habits are hard to break. First he bluffed his way through the courtroom. Now he bluffs his way through life.
However, Mr. Wright lost the hand. It seems to cast a shadow of doubt on Mr. Smith.
Humiliation from losing, even when cheating. That is what set fire to the defendant's heart.
Oh, to defendant's heart. So what did the flaming defendant do next? The flaming defendant. A bottle, are you referring to this?
The defendant uses his bottle to... This behavior is an admission of cheating by the defendant.
But why use a grape juice bottle?
You'd be surprised at what can be used as a weapon. This juice is recommended. Drink of Borscht Bowl Club, da. This year's vintage is remarkable for its hefty flavor.
Hefty enough to brain a grown man, apparently. First she says it was a serious competition, now she says there was cheating. Justice, notice anything odd? Her testimony keeps changing. Now she says the defendant cheated. So yes, I had noticed that. Let's get to the truth about this cheating first, shall we? Right, leave it to me. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, and Mr. Wright's 2. Well, if Mr. Smith was the one cheating... Good ace. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Oops. Why not? I'll save. No, turn to the title screen. What does pressing select do? Same thing. Look at this. Wait. That doesn't match up here. It doesn't match up at all. Mr. Smith hand has 3 aces. This writes 2 as 5 aces in all. Oops. For some reason I think that button is the court record button. Yeah. Only 2 aces here, and we have 3 kings and 3 sevens. There we go. It appears the witness is mistaken.
Mistaken? But my name?
Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. Here we go. No aces seen here. Why, it's here, of course. It's where? Where's that you're pointing? Where? Good question. Already heard today on the dangers of bluffing. Sorry, Your Honor. I'm gonna rethink this. Wait, is that not what I'm supposed to point at? What particular point contradicts the testimony? Is it just because the only aces are here? Do I look on the... Or do I... Oh, 2 aces here. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, I was basically right. Right? Because the first time, I was pointing at the 3 kings. You know, thinking that these aren't 3 aces, these are 3 kings. Alright, game. Fine. Do as you will. Miss Orley, in your testimony you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, but as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces.
Beep. No, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating all right, and it's going on right here in the courtroom. Two aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating.
Wait, please. It is true. I've seen it. The 5th ace. It was cheating, I swear to you.
That's odd. She must be lying. She's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin, who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What that might be, Mr. Gavin? What might that be, Mr. Gavin? Sorry, I did weird, weird enunciation there. If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards. Cards? Mr. Payne.
Yes?
The players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? These cards don't prove cheating was going on. Nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? The victim's hand, right? Because that was the hand which Olga said was cheating. Hold on. Sure. Yeah. Victim's hand. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well, Mr. Payne, if you would.
Very well.
Here we go. Oh, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice. Alright, let's do it. Oh shit. I can rotate it. One of these is blue. Only one of the cards has a blue back. I'm much more of a red guy myself. Blue is so not red, you know? You clearly are a red guy. Can I examine anything I want? Zoom in. This is cool. Too bad you can't see too much of it, though. Hardbacks are red. Let's see. How big is this, like, text? It's too small. Maybe. Look, when you're streaming a 3DS game, you have to compromise. For some reason, I thought they were using blue-backed cards in the final hand. Is that it? Nothing else I need to do? Nothing funny going on here? Yes, sir. Oh, I just did that. Alright, now we're getting to the tutorial after I examined it. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. By using the dials in the evidence viewer, it should give you a better perspective on the case. There we go. Examine. What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. What was that, Miss Orley?
No, yet. I merely said
Your Honor?
Mr. Gavin, yes?
Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker?
To cheat?
I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say.
Comrade.
The dealer.
Oh!
Wait, so you mean... This witness, Miss Orley. She's the cheater. Professional, I'd wager.
Yeah.
Order.
Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her... phrasing, please. I mean, of her mistake. Your Honor. Thank God we did not say that aloud. Please recall the testimony we just heard.
That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand.
Ergo, Miss Olga Orly conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith, or Shady Smith. Ooh. You can't really tell, but I'm bopping my head right now. Ooh. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim.
What?
Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orly, are you?
Time for justice. What a line. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. Oh, I was like, what? Is he like completing his thought out loud? He was saying, if Phoenix isn't guilty, then I am. No, it's Olga Orly. He's saying I am as in like, he is serious. I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orly, of murder.
Eek!
Oh shit, she fainted. Hey, but the borscht is okay. That's all that matters, right?
Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Miss Olga Orly?
Somehow I still find it a little hard to believe that it's Olga.
It appears that she has lost consciousness, Your Honor.
Mr. Justice,
Your Honor?
seems you presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith.
That means
This court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time.
What?
I did it. I held out.
I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. Prosecution will need to make further inquiries.
What? That's the objection I know and love. Same voice. Mr. Wright? We can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet.
What nonsense is the defendant spewing now?
Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means?
What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous.
Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night.
As was said before, we alternated between the 2 decks of cards that night.
That was said before.
The 2 decks at the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You used different colors and they still got mixed up. We used the red deck for the last game.
I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards.
Whatever. In the end, one card of the wrong color got into the mix.
Oh, it's because Shady used the wrong cards. It's not that Olga was a shitty cheater. She gave him the right card because they were using the blue cards, right? I don't think Phoenix would be the one using the wrong cards.
Which means there was cheating.
Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder.
Well, yeah. Thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped.
Oh? Might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne. Or it might not be.
Eh.
I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck? Well, according to Olga, according to her testimony, she saw very clearly that the victim, 3 aces in his hand. I think that means... I think that means it was swapped after the murder. Perhaps it happened after the murder.
What's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly!
Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible.
Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible.
Oh? Even when the backs of the cards have a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Oh, quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder.
Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that?
Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us.
There's another?
Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? Game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Orley. Who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? Well, Olga seemed very shocked that she didn't see what she wanted to see. With someone else. One who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orley either.
What are you suggesting?
It's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As the defense, I think it'll make sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point.
Really?
Yes, I know. Wait, what? I'm dumb. I'm sorry, guys. She was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make that mistake of swapping the wrong color card.
If the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright?
Oh, did I get it right? All along? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking about how much fun this all is.
Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Miss Orley, then who was it?
Yeah, well, that's a question, isn't it? Precisely.
Huh?
I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction.
A new direction?
We'll find that indeed, after the murder. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand, and that someone made 2 critical mistakes. Okay, I was right. I thought Christoph telling me that I was wrong was like, you know, indicative that I was wrong. First swapping the wrong color card. Because the one who did the swap didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. Person replaced the 5th ace. The king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in.
But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist.
True, not until now. But you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime.
What?
Why didn't you tell us? I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. Do you make trials? Ridiculous, Mr. Wright.
This trial has proceeded on one central assumption, namely that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room.
I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption.
The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court.
I suppose that is a problem, yes.
We'll just adjourn for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess.
Damn, okay, judge wants some. Look, man, shoot your shot, I guess. Certainly, Your Honor.
Very well, this trial will resume in 20 minutes.
Recess time. April 20th. Sorry. Feeling a little tired. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim that there was another person on the scene of the crime like that. He's doing the opaque glasses thing. I must ask, is it the truth? Well, no. I think he would know the answer to... I think he would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Justice. Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear. Is that really yours, Mr. Wright? You're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter here. Picture of my daughter in there. Well, she's cute. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago. What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never, honest, but it is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Yeah. You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker, it's like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. As they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Your body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding! That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Oh, so I have to look for tells now. That's cool. I like that. No. Come on, who'd notice that? Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me. Now, I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will. Soon. Ah, almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know. I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it. I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My, power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. Oh shit. To be continued. Would love to save. How much in this trial do I have left? Not sure. Can't be that long, right? It's just the first trial.
We'll now reconvene. As our witness, Miss Olga Orley recovered.
Man, this this new screen size is really fucking me up.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, she regained consciousness.
Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again.
That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued.
You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne.
Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand.
Very well. The witness will take the stand.
Here she is. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Damn.
Not.
Oh shit. Here we go. Name's Olga Orley. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers Orley. Alright, now you seem a lot more suspicious. Not as cozy as I thought, huh?
Oh really?
Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian. And my last name sounds like, oh really? There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Damn, she went from cute to hot. Flip of a switch. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see?
Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences.
Fine. Okay, so she's gonna have different tells. Or maybe not. Maybe she'll have the same tells, but, you know, just with a different sprite set. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game, as a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut.
You swapped the cards.
exposed as a cheater and lying on top of it. It would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would have dashed to pieces.
Indeed. Being caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on all his prior wins.
A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really, oh really? How droll. But it appears he made quite the mistake.
A mistake?
I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be slip-free from a you'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers Orley.
Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick.
Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute, I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. She's still a little cute.
And perhaps you're through being bad. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court.
I'm bad at reading, apparently.
Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung.
The best laid traps. And I'd have planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. Trap failed. Next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. Whoa, okay, she's doing that thing right now. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no good, cheating defendant. She just put her hand on the back of her neck.
Surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark.
Trap was perfect, I tell you, perfect. That rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking.
Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Wright.
With witnesses like her, who needs criminals. And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors. Alright. Let's go to that. Yeah, here we go. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Oh, here we go. What was that just now? I sensed something. What the fuck?
Something wrong, Mr. Justice?
No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Oh yeah. Miss Orley, you're hiding something. No, what are you talking about? You. Me? Quickfingers Orley? Me hiding something? A good dealer, but not a good player.
Defense will refrain from such baseless accusations.
I have one question for the witness, then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him. There it is again. My own eyes, I saw it. Do I have like a built-in lie detector or something? What's this weird vibe I'm getting? Is this my power? That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? What? What is this? Whoa, what's going on? The sensation. It's coming into focus. This is kind of spooky. That eye at the bottom? There, that twitch. It's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. Have a perceive button? Perceive?
Gotcha. Miss Orley, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself.
Unaware of what?
Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand.
My neck? So what?
When indeed, Justice. I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it.
Memory? Someone care to explain what she's babbling about?
This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. You have evidence of this memory to show us.
Habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So, what will remind her the most of the moment of the crime? Miss Orley, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. Your neck. No, I don't think it's this. Is it this? The weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck. Oh, I can check this. There's tape here. Ah, the battery's being held with a piece of tape. You should just buy a new one. Maybe you can't afford it, or you just don't care. It's frugal. Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. I wonder how well it goes with borscht. Bottle is completely empty. That's not helping. We have pictures, cards. We already looked at these. Honestly, I'm not sure. Does it have to do something with her neck? Oh, Maybe it's because she took the pendant. Or the locket, rather. Oh, might as well give it a shot, I guess. Sorry to disappoint, but I don't have any particular memories of that. Uh-oh. That must not have been it.
Of course not. Want a habit, Mr. Justice? I'll show you a habit.
I better get this sorted out before I develop a habit of my own. Habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? The moment of the crime. Is it literally the murder weapon? The moment of the crime. I'm just gonna go with this. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle? The murder weapon. Okay, I don't really see the logic there. Anyone can explain that? I'd be very grateful. How does touching your neck have to do with... What does that have to do with anything? Something doesn't fit. You were the only one to witness the crime. Then why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain?
What's he talking about just now?
This game is too intelligent for you. It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you. It's okay. Sometimes it's okay to just be along for the ride.
This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant.
Justice, I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later, just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Mr. Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. She went back.
Yet, I am knowing nothing.
We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now. There we go. Back in the pirate look. Fine. Ooh, alright. We're picking up. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops that got there. You seem uneasy.
You try sitting up here.
Eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like?
Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at the table until the cops came.
Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is... flawed. Has to be. It's basically bogus. Contradicts the evidence.
What's that?
Well? Show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony.
She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. So there's evidence that contradicts that. It's the phone, right? Because he used it to call from the first floor. I might take my first penalty of this entire game, so I'd rather avoid that. Sorely, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It's states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. Phew, okay. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. Ah. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Oh, here we go. Now she's breaking. That's what we want to see. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. It was the victim? This again. Showdown time. You dirty cheat! Check his pockets now. It's gone! The card's gone! You lose. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Wright, and he hit me! You! Some master of cheating you turned out to be. All that shady talking. Eek! When I came to,
The victim was already dead. Is that it?
that's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure.
Well, where does this leave us?
Madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming! Must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this.
It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think of this turn of events? Mr. Gavin? Sir?
I believe that, as the defense in this case, you're compelled to call Miss Orley a big, fat liar.
What?
We were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive. Motive. Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouncement of that argument was murder. What? I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me.
Who, though?
Hey, Phoenix. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process.
Mr. Wright!
Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know two colors of cards were being used. A fourth person.
This theory again. Your fourth person doesn't exist.
Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape, and no chance for deception. Perfect place to catch the real criminal. You want the Papa Beanie? You know, I kind of want it too. It's a real statement.
Real criminal?
And we're in luck. The clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. True. What's a bike says?
What?
Hello. Perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said. The fourth person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. How could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Okay, the cards used for the last game were red. Yet there is one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, Think you can figure out who it was?
It's not me, I swear.
Who is this fourth person?
Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Was it? It wasn't Gavin, was it? Oh shit. Our own mentor? The killer? There's no way it's Phoenix. Payne is too stupid. Shady is dead. And Olga wouldn't make that mistake. We only have one option here. Process of elimination. As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue. The ones on the floor or the table. But look! You can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It's true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game, in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor.
A competition?
Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Gavin, is something the matter?
No, nothing. Excuse me. It was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, aren't you? Christoph? You know even I'd never take a joke this far. Oh shit.
This game has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder?
I assure you I'm quite sane.
What possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim?
I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Sorry.
Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met.
Well, what if they have?
Huh?
There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night, before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. Oh. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before the game of poker be related?
I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin.
As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley...
Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He's the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you.
Oh, okay.
Well, does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony?
Yes. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. It too, Justice. You have betrayed me, your teacher. I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth.
Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please.
Appetite before murder. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. Christoph is he's a very pretty man, I will say. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. Girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to the defense attorney Gavin.
Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder?
I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I'd become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Me pretty? No. Justice. Sir! He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Alright, that seems fine. Mr. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter to be sure.
Oh, Mr. Wright. What was it that you said? Kristoff Gavin and Shady Smith may have met?
I believe I did say that.
Here I was all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear they just passed in the hall?
It does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder.
Oh, it would be. If that was all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? Okay, that's pretty awful, but that seems true. Smith was uncontrollable. What do you mean uncontrollable? You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in a darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. Didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. And when you returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit I was a little startled when I walked in.
A little?
He was bleeding from his forehead after all. Guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'd obviously gotten in a rather sticky affair. And I figured Kristoff's law office would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him. Now. Yes, sir. Gavin looking more sus by the minute. It has to be in there somewhere. Alright, what evidence do I have? Do I have a call record? Death between 1:45 and 2:15. Is there a call history on this? Sat at the table in the photograph, so it would be the table on the right of this picture, since he's... Well, I mean, there's a piano, but I don't think they sat there. Chip photo. Jim's hand. Tony's badge. Oops. Yeah, let's save, why not? I always do that by accident. No, I don't want to return to the title screen. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. How would he get cut if the bottle is still intact? That is strange, right? If... but what do I, present? Yeah. Death was caused by blunt trauma, not getting cut. I can present this. Ooh. Well, that's our first penalty.
How exactly are the evidence and statement just now related?
They aren't, are they?
Not at all. Mr. Justice, please think the facts over before making accusations.
Holy shit, I just blew up. That was a very, very intense explosion. Wait. There's no way you could have seen the cut on the forehead if the hat was still on, right? Oh shit. Yeah, hat removed during investigation. I got it. Yeah, this is it. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. You got him. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it.
Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court?
Oh, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. Eh?
You?
You put the hat on the dead man's head?
He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph.
And?
I picked his hat up. Yeah, I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head.
But why'd you do such a thing like that?
All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Miss Orley didn't see it? It being the victim's, his head. I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed this, Ed. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through the case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he?
In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence.
Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Ugh. I don't get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore. That wasn't it. Okay. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Oops. Let's not save. We have profiles to present, right? Or not? Can I not present profiles in this game? I'd be fine if they got rid of that. I feel like that was always an unnecessary thing. Like, if you need to present a profile, just give me the profiles, right? Yeah, this second phone call business seems a bit suspect. Since it only says it was used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. And so, I think Phoenix said he went down to the hideout and he saw the body, and then he called Gavin. And that's not on the first floor. Fuck. No, justice. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. Alright, I think I'll just start pressing everything again. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at Forest Bowl Club frequently. Enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. Usual? I always eat at the table closest to the piano.
I see, where Mr. Smith was sitting.
So, the plates and such on the table are from your dinner?
Indeed, the remnants of a meal with Kristoff. We dined for 2 hours, then Kristoff left after that.
Hold it!
5 minutes. 2 of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. Yes. Okay, I read this before. Alright, please let me fast forward. Out of this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orley mentioned. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the Clancy card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes, a harmless prank, in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it.
Quirk?
I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of Hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game.
Disposed? Where?
There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
An empty bottle of grape juice.
The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see.
Battle of wits between the deceiver and would-be deceived. Sounds like terrific drama.
Card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Police miss it on their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. As far as I know, it's completely empty, right?
That's right, the pokerhead of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits.
Alright, new testimony. No, I don't think so, Phoenix. Mr. Wright, if I may? Yes? I've examined the bottle, and I don't see any card in there. No? He really does not give a shit.
Surely, Mr. Wright, surely, is not all you have to say for yourself.
Can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. A 7th person came and took it out. Oh, and a 6th person could have helped.
Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client.
My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either.
One moment.
We looked inside that bottle, there was nothing.
So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the car just disappear? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. What is this beef? Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. And don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Eh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. So when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well.
A reason?
That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, call that I spoke with the defense attorney. Call that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game's not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? Turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china pate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. Cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that? Oh. That was like a typo, right? I thought it said pate. Am I crazy? Bone china plate. It's plate. And a porcelain. Very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but... how do you pronounce that? Plate? Oh. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Your forehead is glorious, Judge. Wait. Oh, shit. I just realized something. You would only say that referring to the forehead if you saw it, and, well, the entire time they had their hats on. The victim and the defendant. Of course, until the victim died. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So, after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club. Most certainly. Then, how did he know? How did he see this bone china plate?
Oh, that's right.
Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Trouble. I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright.
Order, I will have order. Mr. Payne?
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony?
Yeah, well, as the prosecutor,
Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that?
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well, this will be the final recess for the day.
Oh, shit. Hopefully Kristoff doesn't fucking kill us in the lobby. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both under Judge's chamber. Would have thought today would turn out like this. May I? Who's this? Oh, it's Phoenix's daughter, I think. She's wearing blue now, though. What? Hello, sir. Please, pick a card. Oh, what's this all about? Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. Trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely. The game is yours. That's all. An ace. Where do I remember that card from? Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true. I've seen it. The 5th ace. It was cheating, I swear to you. Is this the 5th ace? Missing 5th ace. Wait, it's a blotch of red. Is this blood? That's the card that Gavin replaced with the king. You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. You do have a cute daughter, Phoenix. I'll give you that. My father's fate is in your hands.
I know you can do it.
This bloodstained card. It's my trump card for finding the truth? I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Look at these 3D graphics. The future is here. Bloody Ace added to the court record. Kristoff is no longer at our side.
Defense Attorney Kristoff Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. And, well, Mr. The witness state his name and occupation.
This is as far as necessary, Your Honor.
Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom.
Fine, I'll play along.
First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's head?
By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it. Oh, hell yeah. I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright. What do you think you're doing, Wright? Now, wow. Things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh. When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to be at the scene of the crime, at the time of the crime. In other words, you'd have to be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Oh, look at his face. Not bad, Apollo.
Mr. Gavin?
I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
What?
Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night.
Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night?
That fateful night. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Wright.
So you witnessed the murder?
For better or for worse, I admit it. I missed the actual moment of the deed.
Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client.
What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. You had to testify as just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright, you had to say that, because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh.
Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Judge, are you prepared?
Mr. Justice, It's late. Forgive me. Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going to go up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. That man, you mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that.
So then, you know the true nature of your client's job?
Of course, but I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends, after all. Wait for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score.
I see. What happened then?
Little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up in the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The black marketeers used it, I believe. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes, one of my fears have been unfounded. I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least. So far, everything he's saying makes sense. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really? No need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part in my testimony. Ah, there he is, the coolest defense in the West. Know and love. But even when you're standing up here on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. Now, with friends like these, who needs enemies? By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene? Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat back. I saw his head. He was dead. Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat.
Can you describe the scene of the crime for us?
Where were you when the phone call came? I'd already left the Borscht Bowl Club by that time. On the phone, he asked me to defend him. Naturally, I was surprised. Accepted, however. I couldn't abandon him. So kind of you. So far, everything jives with Mr. Wright's testimony, I think. Is it going to be a problem for you to cross-examine your own boss? I'm fine. Who was it that taught me never to pull punches in cross-examination? It was you, Gavin. I learned it from watching you. Remember though, by that time I was already Wright's defense attorney. It wouldn't do for me to become part of the investigation. Sense, or does it? I'm confused.
What happened next?
Hmm. Only 3 people. But we know someone else had to have switched the cards. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I'd seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul. One sec. Oh, sorry, I was muted for a second. I didn't really see anything of value, except that you could see Kristoff twitching a little bit. Could this be? Could this be the missing 5th ace? It is. Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? That's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card? Oh, it's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bull Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade, after all. No! Impossible! Unacceptable! The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason?
The reason for?
For the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime.
Where are you going with this?
Take another look at the photo in the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of blood have fallen on one of those cards? I suppose. killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible.
Oh?
Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime is to conceal evidence.
Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question.
What are you talking about?
You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. Now, I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been the decisive evidence, you see.
This is baseless conjecture. Baseless.
Oh, finger point. Yeah. Oh, I assure you it's quite based. What? Based and evidence pilled. Phoenix Wright is based. Wait. I gotta see when this game was released. Phoenix Wright is always like ahead of its time, I swear. 2007? Holy shit. You know what was funny back in 2007? Rage comics. What? It's amazing, really. Not just based, future-based. How can a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us? The truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. Oh shit, we're going 3D mode. Look at these mind-boggling effects. The murder took place in the hideout. Also, what's up, Wolf? The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table, and before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood in it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? So the victim... If the blood went down the back of his head, then the card should be falling somewhere around here, right? Sup. Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? Well, the card was found on the table, right? So... yeah, there's no way the blood could have just... I guess... yeah, there's no way the blood could have just, like, traveled all the way to the table from here, because the victim's head is all the way here. So I think the position is actually... yeah, it's the victim's. Well, isn't it the victim's position? Isn't it the victim's position that's a problem?
I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice.
Well, look, the victim was struck in the head, sending him back in his chair. You'd think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him.
Oh,
Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not the cards.
why, that's right. So, what does this mean?
Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. Recreate the Let's go! Hell yeah.
Chair was facing the other way?
Would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table.
When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing?
When I came back to the room, body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction.
Again?
Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? Whose location creates a contradiction if the victim was facing away? Would it be the second witnesses, since they wouldn't be able to see the head of the victim that clearly? I don't know. I feel like you might be able to, but I don't know how big your field of vision would be if you're like behind this window. But I feel like that's the only possible explanation. Let's try it out. Oh, nice, I got it. What doesn't make sense is the second witness. You mean to say I don't make sense? Oh, no, of course you do, sir. As I thought. Help. Never mind.
Mr. Justice, I'm a little hard of hearing. Did you just say something? Would you be kind enough to show the court one more time what you mean?
I find it funny how Kristoff was the one who penalized me by sheer terror instead of the judge. Contradicts our new understanding of the crime. So if the victim is facing away, what does that mean? I mean, at this point, it's a 50-50 like chance, right? The first witness is Olga. What did Olga do? I don't know, she just kind of like dealt the card and then get knocked out. Huh. I don't know. I don't think it's the witness, because at the time of the crime, the witness was knocked out. So, it might be the killer. I mean, process of elimination, right? When the victim was struck from the front. The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? The fifth game used base in 2014, too. Base Fry was so clutch with the assist. Yeah, Phoenix Wright just manages to do it somehow. Guess Ace Attorney in this case. Wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it'd be quite hard, yes.
Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. How would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game?
I believe a sufficient reason will come to light.
What?
There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting down here, as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we can find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our victim from the front? Here, I suppose. The killer had to be standing, well, here, in front of the victim. But there's a cabinet there.
You get points for flair, but that's about all you get.
Thought I was onto something there, too.
I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim was facing a solid cupboard. A cupboard, rather. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above?
Simple logic, really. This was the only place the killer could have been standing. And that means that, the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know! The moment of the crime, cupboard wasn't there! What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation. Right, Mr. Gavin. Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately.
Airlift, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard.
Your Honor.
What?
There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff.
Yes. I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright.
I do my best. I want to know what happened, though. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. The killer was standing here at the time of the crime, and this cupboard wasn't there. That wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. I have to move it left, right? There we go. Thank you. As you can see, cupboard was the problem. These like little, these cute little like 3D animations are so, they're awesome. I like them. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this?
What is it now?
Now the window is blocked. So basically, everything Gavin said about being able to see through the window is BS. Big ol' steaming bullshit. Let's look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh, dang. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion.
Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Which indicator in this? Yep. It's gotta be number 2. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Oh, that's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone, like Mr. Gavin. What? What did you just say? Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was. Well, the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order, this is a court of law, and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club. Examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? And what did they find? Well, Your Honor, turns out there's a secret passage behind it. Holy shit. What? Ah, yes. I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks of the room to many of our regulars. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. You never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses can get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. Well, 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 Gavin. The tables have turned. See where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. The girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window's blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it.
Oh. Eek.
Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. Miss Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time, soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops. Leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. A single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime.
Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red. That's all you have to do, a little hair flip.
Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Payne,
Yes, Your Honor?
the prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion.
Quack!
Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Objecting to your own arrest? Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin. Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick.
Excuse me?
The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney.
Illegal evidence.
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. A bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking. How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne?
Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down.
I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court and this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down, and that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? See how the caught fish squirms at the last?
Well, Apollo,
Yes. Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation.
just like that.
Yeah, just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Ugh. Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there. Plain sight. Why would you just say the answer in plain words? Plain sight, huh? Oh, maybe it's to... Since there's bottles of grape juice right here, maybe it's to give one to Shady over here. Right? From this angle, where Phoenix is sitting, you would have to grab the bottle by its neck. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Justice?
Mr. Gavin said the court in this case, and the case, demand an explanation. Don't worry. Justice won't leave until justice is done.
Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What defense do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down?
Here we go. Hold this photo. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair.
Excuse me, on the floor?
Yes, now reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair. See? You naturally go to pick the bottle up by its neck. with your fingers upside down. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of the piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times.
Wow, I can't believe it was that simple.
While our dinner that evening, Christoph, I was drinking my usual juice then too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then, you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Ah.
Order, order, order. What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin?
Another nonchalant shake of the head, huh? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. But what? He claimed that I switched the bottle. Where's your proof? Proof? That's as I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation?
Ah, yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieved the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question.
What, are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any were on that. I would be surprised if any were on that but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake. True. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes. Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright, that bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. Alright, let's zoom in a bit. Ah, here we go. There's the card. There's something inside the bottle. What's this? A card, it can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Solka Orly? Yes, our little swindling. The Devotchka. I hope I said that right. That night I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? The very one. I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the Five of Hearts. I had a feeling something might happen to it, so I disposed of the card before the game.
Disposed? Where?
There's an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. There's your proof that he switched them. Five of Hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the fourth person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh boy. The bowl was still on the ground. And apparently it was lobster. Huh? Borscht? Who could have seen this coming? My mentor becoming the new defendant. And the defendant becoming my new mentor. That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Bright?
Revenge?
Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right?
This is insane. Well, what about me? Why don't I... What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone?
Who gives a shit about you, Payne?
I believe this time we finally come to the end of our trial.
Holy shit, finally.
Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin?
He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now.
I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he?
Yeah, none that we know of.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add?
I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter.
About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. Not profession to be sure. And that's all we know about him.
I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Phoenix is so much hotter when he's sassy and confident. I wholeheartedly agree. He has definitely picked up a lot of things from Godo. Maybe it just came with age. Yes.
7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch.
Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer.
He was extremely talented, to be sure.
I needed two things before I could confront him. First was a place where no injustice would be tolerated. This courtroom. Like a fine grape juice? Indeed. Second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Phoenix Bright. Title. Rolls. Credits roll. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright,
Not guilty.
Yay, confetti!
Gotta love the confetti. Glad to see that part of court hasn't changed.
Court is adjourned.
Or 28 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gavin, the killer. I couldn't have done it without I couldn't have done it by myself. I just, made up words there. Sorry. You sensed it too today. Didn't you? Your ability. How does he know I have that? Ability? Yes, sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. It's this weird vibe I'm getting. What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer? Right. Well, today was full of questions without answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Oh, wait, you don't know, do you? And this locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. Your daughter, right? How does it feel you studied under a nutcase? I mean, I feel like in this world, it's kind of rare that you study under someone who's normal, right? Mia was basically our only shining beacon of being a good lawyer. Even Mia's teacher was kind of nuts, right? Grossberg? Your daughter, right? That's right, she's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Eh? I took this off his neck the day he died. The night he died. It looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, that's perjury! You testified. You said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest... I need more water. Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. Still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo. Yes? How about coming to work for me? You mean at the Wright & Co. law offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know about it. Can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. You can't just say that, Apollo, and not elaborate. Come on. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There's a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. Not a magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. Just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence. Well... His daughter gave me this card, right? So I can imagine this might be the forged evidence. I just... This has to be it, right? Yell at me if I'm wrong, please. Alright. I'm going to go through with it. Am I? Is there anything else? Pictures? Anything? It's gotta be the ace. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes. That card... You're not yelling. Yeah. Oh, glad I got it right. That card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place. Lucky for us. Court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. And you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. But he's not an attorney anymore. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? Ah. Ah. Did I just slap that man? I punched him. Okay, we punched him. Not much better, though. Arguably even worse. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, "Take that!" next time. Find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. Oh, you took that like a champ. I love Phoenix. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. Taste the pain! And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law. And this is how my story begins. The end. That was awesome. Hell yeah. Turnabout Corner. No idea what this could be about. Brand new episode has been added. Alright, well, let's save the game. And we will begin Turnabout Corner next time we stream Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Tomorrow we'll be playing Nier Replicant. So, look forward to that. I'm also really looking forward to playing more of this game. What can I say? I like the Ace Attorney games. They've been really fun so far. Well, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say other than thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate all of you guys. Do I have anything else to say? I already said tomorrow is going to be Nier. And I guess after that, the next stream will be on Sunday. And that will be more Ace Attorney. So look forward to that. And now I really don't have anything else to say. So I wish you all good night. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you very soon. See ya.